There are lots and lots of questions. Can I start with one of them, which I know the people listening will like? Ellie Goldrat, you put it on a slide, said, "Tell me how you are measured, and I will tell you how you behave." And when all this started, there was one of your key indicators that sounded very much like common sense used throughout the world, was the bumping speed, the number of seconds, because everything in your business is counted in seconds, between the moment a client orders something and the moment the kitchen starts producing it, right? And that was a key indicator. What did you do with that?
It's a great question. As you know, in McDonald's, the speed of service is crucial. It's our business. So we have to learn from the talk that we have to accept to lose some time to gain time in the global solution. And for this first time, I would say that I accept to lose some time in the kitchen to be sure that the flow and the full service time will be better. It was really, I would say, very surprised me, because in fact, we have to lose this time in the kitchen to be sure that the full experience will be better, and it works. So it was really surprised. I was really surprised.
Thank you. There's been some remarks. Well, they weren't questions; they were remarks with exclamation points. I don't know if you read the chat. Amazing increases, brilliant, and stuff like that. But as you know, that there are many more results than those. And one of them I realized was not mentioned was that when it was started, you had a certain number of mistakes in your finished orders, right? Yeah. And the system not only made things flow faster, it was getting things right first time. So globally throughout the system, the number of mistakes was reduced quite significantly. What was the reduction in the number of mistakes in complete orders?
So interesting things, it's same thing. So accuracy in McDonald's world, it's crucial for our customers. So when they came, they want speed and they want accuracy orders. So the opportunity that we seized when we implement the solution was to reduce the improve the accuracy of our orders, and we reduce the inaccuracy by 7 order of 10 by 10 was more accurate at the final during the test period. So it was unbelievable to see how we split the accuracy across the system when, for example, we push the responsibility of the accuracy of the sandwich to the kitchen. We push the accuracy of the French fries to the assembly area, and the beverage to the present persons. Means that we are more accurate also because we don't push all the responsibility of the accuracy to only one person at the end of the process, but through all the process, we improve the accuracy. So it was unbelievable and very important for us to manage that and to improve the accuracy the accuracy in the process.
One of the questions they're trying to better understand the exact mechanism you're now using to manage flow, and in the theory constraints vocabulary, what is the rope? What brings the new order into the kitchen, right? And as I mentioned in my first question, initially what brought the product into the kitchen, what started production, was the customer order, and as soon as it arrived, you jumped on it. What was the new system? What was the condition to start a new order?
In fact, one of the something very important was to when we are in a world where we have 75,000 employees working on the same process, we have to keep the same process to be sure that they will understand what they should do in the future. So keep it simple and robust solution. That means that we keep the same flow. The orders are sent to the kitchen when our customer take the orders at the end of the orders. They send the information to the kitchen. This is the same flow. the only thing that we changed was more than mix all these orders in the kitchen. We are just align one order after the others. And by using a simple tray, we put all the sandwich on the same tray. Like that, it's very simple to identify each order through all the system. That respond to your question?
I think so. I know, as you explained, you know McDonald's very well. You started from being a team worker in restaurant, and you're very, very proud, and you ask a lot of your colleagues about the quality of food. And I know one of the subjects that gets you all heated up is the cold chip. And there's a question based on my experience, US McDonald's. Getting fries quickly go cold. I was expecting a new assembly process to have temperature-sensitive foods placed on the serving or whatever. And that links up to another question by, I believe it was Steve Holt, which is, you actually went from make to stock to make to order. I mean, the answer to your chips problem was to speed up the production and try and make it produce much closer to the requirement, and therefore avoid the cold chip that was produced 20 minutes before it was going to be eaten. Can you tell me more about that big leap where you decided you must go from make to stock to make to order? I mean, that was a massive change. I see from the questions and remarks, they think, wow.
First of all, if you compare, because you talk about the US market first, and this solution, or the made for you solution, make to order, it's implemented is already implemented in US from the last 25 or 30 years maybe. And Europe was one of the last markets using this solution. And I just want to correct something. At the beginning, we just stock the product during 10 minutes, not 20 minutes, 10 minutes only. And it's very important just to keep all the product and the sandwiches, I would say on the high quality. And for the French fries, it's only 7 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes maximum. So that means that always we are producing based on I would say the simple forecast about the number of orders that they are coming in the production area. Even if the biggest challenge was to make to order only for the sandwiches, because in fact it was already done for the French fries, and it was already done for the drink station, just to keep the quality very high. And the challenge was for the sandwich. And I would say that for the sandwich production in France, it was maybe the biggest challenge that we have to face on the last 40 years, for the simple reason, and what I explained in the video was it's really about the peaks that we have in France. This is a high level of transaction mixed with a high level of number of items per transaction, means that we have a lot of product to produce in a very, very short of time compared with the other markets. And it's for that, for example, that we implement that we call the hub and spoke solution. It's a made for you, but with 3 lines at the same working at the same times to produce more sandwich during the same period. And like I said, it was really the biggest challenge during the last 40 years, because we changed everything. It's not only because we are very focused on the physical change. Changing the kitchen, changing the equipment, it's very easy to do it, because you can have some experts doing some layout, very good layout, and it's working. But the challenge it was about the culture. The culture, it's a big change, in fact. But saying that, it's also a huge opportunity, because it's not about removing people, for example, from the kitchen, but just repositioning these people on the right and valuable work directed with directing to the customers. They more focused on the customer experience than ever, because their work is more simplified, and it's working pretty well.
Yeah, well, it's said in the video, but maybe you want to say it again. One of the reasons that it worked was not only that people in the management saw the operational results, but it was a lot less stressful. The quality of life
Yeah,
improved significantly, and
yeah.
so people liked it.
Like you said, it's really it was really about first of all, it was really about the quality. Our challenge is how we can maintain high level of quality through all the day, okay, by serving so many customers on every hours. And saying that it's also making to order allow us to personalize the product. You are not serving the same Big Mac. You are producing the Big Mac that John just ordered 2 minutes ago. So it means it's a different way to our crew to work, because they are working specifically for specific customers. At the end of the experience, you can imagine, for example, that our crew, John, will produce the product for Bernard, and Bernard really will be very happy to know that John is working for him. So, and at the end, maybe we will connect both of them to be sure that they will know each of them.
Okay. Again, partly by repeating what was said in some of the video, but to say it again live. What I discovered when we met was that France is by far, or is anyway, the most difficult market in the world for quick service restauration, because of the food, because of and the complexity, the size of the orders. It's just everything is the most complicated in the world compared to other countries. So proving that it could be done in the most difficult territory was the test that showed that it could then be used anywhere. And there's many questions which are around, is this concept, I hope it means, because they're hoping it's going to come to their country. Many people are asking, is this unique to France, or is it going out to other countries?
I would say the full restaurant concept, it's unique to France. We broke the front counter and everything. So we go, I would say that we go, I would say, above what we really need. But in fact, because we have these market conditions, I think we discover that we can use this solution in different restaurants across the world. Means that, as we call the hub and spoke solution, with 3 lines working all together, it's already implemented across the world for only the restaurant that they really need, but they have specific condition very close to the French market. They don't need, for example, if I give you an example, because maybe from the attendees, they know more US. In US, they have only 2 lines. It's very easy to manage. They don't have a lot of peaks, high peaks during lunch and dinner. It's more during the breakfast. So I would say the solution is totally different, and they don't need this hub and spoke solution. But in some of the restaurants in the US or in the Hong Kong, for example, they apply this principle because they have very high condition like us, and they can use this solution. Now, the solution that we have implemented in France, I would say it's available for the market if they need it, based on their condition.
Great, thank you. I'm just checking because I have to look at 2 different screens to get the questions in. You want to talk at all about the UHC, the production of proteins, and that part of the flow and the management of flow? And I hope you'll mention that proud moment when that team member came with his report saying he'd had no shortages in the tub.
It was funny. I would say maybe funny a little bit, because we are so focused on the assembly area to try to define where is the issue, find the root cause, and everything. And really, we put we look at the that we call the UHC, the protein storage unit, and we said something is wrong. People, they don't realize that they are in shortage in the kitchen, or they try to hide us that we have some shortage. And at the assembly area, people, they are waiting for food, for all the sandwiches. They don't understand. So we try during the to helping them to be better in the system. We start to count the shortage in protein during the peak. And when people, they said, okay, don't worry, you have no shortage. In fact, they realize that they have 10 or 15 shortage during the peak period, 1 hour time. And of course, that impacts our process. So first of all, we move forward. I would say we move from the assembly area to go to the unit storage for the protein to say, okay, we have to solve this problem too, because if we are not doing anything with that, we will not solve the full problem that we have in the process. And now I would say that it's a part of the process. Count your shortage, be focused on that first, save the production before the preparation time for the sandwiches. If you have enough bread, if you have enough, I would say beef and chicken patties, you can produce any sandwich. And you will not have any problems on the preparation.
So if properly managed, this complex protein, because once again, France is the worst country in the world. How many different proteins are available?
I don't know if I can answer to that, but it's more than I would say 15 to 20 proteins. Depends on the campaign and everything. Yeah. So it's a lot of things to manage. So and I know that we have a discussion about reducing the number of proteins. It's a part of the challenge that we have. But when we are working for our customer, when they ask us for more different products, so they want different proteins. So it's part of the challenge that we have to solve. It's about complexity for our crew, for our kitchen, and I would say respond to the customer needs. It's find the right balance between customer needs and complexity in the kitchen.
Sure, but
and this is my role to do that.
I know you're deeply involved in that. But this setup with a lot of proteins, a lot more than other countries, was considered to be unmanageable. And yet, when we looked at it, it turned out that the process, if applied correctly, enabled one to avoid all shortages, right? People had lost confidence in their process and was starting to innovate. And so it sufficed to prove that the process, if it applied 100% with diligence, would work. You would have that huge variety and you would have no shortages. So you mentioned it, the importance of having beautiful processes is fundamental in a business like yours because of the people you employ and so forth.
As you said, the process, it's fundamental. Very simple because everybody can work in McDonald's, everyone can do their own burgers. But in fact, the challenge, it's really about, as you said, complexity, because when you have a lot of products to produce, different products to produce, of course, you have to manage or to train all your crew member to do all this menu range. And follow just our, I would say, meeting and analyze about complexity, about the how we can remove the constraint on the assembly area. We have a huge discussion. I have a huge discussion with my marketing colleagues, for example, talking about complexity and how we can reduce the complexity by reducing the number of number of different sandwiches that we have in the menu, but also about the number of protein that you have, and also the balance that with the customer needs. We did a huge studies on that from the customer side, and we did also, as I said in the video, we go to the innovation center to do some tests to reduce the menu range, and we reduce the number of proteins by 11. We go from, I would say, more than 15 to 11. It was easier to manage at the restaurant level. That means that it was really easy. Now it's easier, I would say, now to produce our menu range in our restaurants.
Okay. The question, what about the table space? Is that ever a constraint? Do your table spaces get full?
So two things that we are looking at when we are talking about the business in McDonald's. It's two things that we are looking very, very in details. It's the number of parking lots that we have, because it's part of the customer that we can absorb during the peak. And of course, it's also about the seating area. We need, as I explained in the video, people in France, they are just going in our restaurant in 2 hours time period during the lunch and during the dinner. And we have to find a way to absorb all these customers. Means speed is crucial, but it's also unfortunately, it's not our responsibility about the time that they will spend to eat. It's their own time, I would say. And we have to manage this experience, because it's a part of the experience. Take your time. This is your time. So it's very important. And talking about table service, it was also an opportunity for us to, I would say, to improve the experience and manage also the flow of the customer in the sitting area. Like in a real restaurant, you are managing your table based on what the number of customers that you have, the number of servers that you have. In fact, we are going on the very similar way, just to manage all this area.
Thank you. The production of proteins, or rather the way you're going to manage the production of proteins, involves having some kind of forecast on the demand that you're going to have. Could you talk about your forecasting system, how simple or sophisticated it is?
It's very sophisticated. So I will try to explain in the simple way. In fact, we have a huge bunch of data, historical data, that helping us to find, I would say, based on the historical information that we have, we forecast the day, we forecast the hours, and we forecast the 15-minute periods. That means that we know exactly how many Big Macs, how many nuggets we are selling during 15-minute periods. And based on that, we are able to produce this protein based on the forecast that we have, and based on the data and I would say the technology that we have behind. We are pretty accurate on the forecast that we are working on. The only things it's very difficult to manage, it's more during the low peak hours. During the afternoon, for example, in France, we are very, very low transaction. We are using a different way. We are not forecasting. We are more in the real time. That means that we are only producing when it's ordered by the customers. So we are not putting some, I would say, proteins in advance in our UHC.
Okay. Just to give you an example, because I still am very impressed by the quality of the model and the quality of the results. You have huge data because of your history, and therefore you can forecast the demand per quarter of an hour, 3 weeks ahead of a huge product mix, and then adjust it when you know the average temperature that will be at that lunchtime, right? Because you know that there'll be more salads sold if it's 2 degrees more and stuff like that, right? So your forecasting is very powerful.
Yeah, and as you said, it's very important, for example, to keep all this data available. I will give you 2 examples. During the winter, the Wednesday lunchtime will be different during the winter if you compare with the springtime. So you have a seasonality affecting your PMX, that we call the PMX, the different sandwich that we are selling, for example. The seasonality is playing with the forecast, the day off or not, that we have during the same weeks.
And
We have
the school strikes that you can't.
Yes, for example, in France, strikes affecting our business too. So it means that we are able to know exactly what's happening these days. Give you another example, we are selling more salad during the spring or the summer, and in fact, we have to adjust all these forecasts based on what's happening in the market, what's happening in my restaurant. In fact, it's not about the market. In reality, it's about the data that we have available in the restaurant to be sure that the restaurant will be able to produce specifically the product that they need, to limit the number of, I would say, the waste or something like that, to be sure that we are producing only the food that we need.
Okay. This question has been asked about 10 times in various forms. I've been trying to work out the best way of answering it. In fact, the question is for some people is addressed both to you and to me. The theory of constraints is not mainstream. Lean is mainstream. How come a corporation as large as McDonald's became interested in the theory of constraints? And was it an easy sell? Tell us the explanation.
I will give you the answer for the French market, because it's always, when you are in a big corporation, we have different way to looking at these things. It's first of all, we have very, very good experts in the office in France, but also in the US in the corporate office. When I talk about the innovation center, we have engineering working on different things, so they know exactly what they apply. And for example, during our process to try to investigate what would be the best solution, in fact, we apply, I would say that every day we apply the TOC solution, the lean or something like that, but we don't know exactly, I don't know exactly before meeting you several years ago, that we apply these principles, the theory. But in fact, it's something true. We have the expertise inside. The challenge for us and the way that we are, I would say, apply or saying that we apply the theory of constraint, for example, was really about convince our franchisee, we are in the system where we are franchisee, that we have the expertise. And if you pick the best experts in the system, in the world, outside the system, okay, they will say the same thing. I will say that I did a bet and I win. So it was good because, in fact, in a very simple way, when we work with Marris Consulting, we found the same solution. But I would say you help us to go further in the detail, and maybe you accelerate the process to find the best solution and the unique solution that we have to implement in the market. In the other hand, to respond to your question, I would say that in the corporate office or in the I would say in the headquarters, it's always difficult to convince people that you have something better outside. So it's a kind of discussion that we should have, just to say to people, okay, if we need the expertise, we will find the best way. And McDonald's, it's a good company for that. So if they need the expertise, they will find the expertise inside or outside the company. It's not a problem, it's not an issue. But the discussion wasn't really about lean or theory of constraint. It's always about solution, because we are very business oriented. So don't give me the how, give me the how to do it, but don't explain in detail what we are doing. We need the solution.
Well, yeah, clearly the concepts would never have seduced anybody if it was not very early on we showed them that they could increase the labor productivity and therefore the bottom line of all the restaurants a lot. You agree? I mean, all these franchisees are interested in making
what you are saying is very crucial, because in fact it's most of the investment have been done by the franchisee. So it means they have to invest in their restaurant to implement the solution. And it was crucial to find a way to say, okay, we did the first step, we've made for you. We have an issue, we have to solve the solution. We have to find a solution. We have to solve the issue that we are facing at the OAT, for example, looking at, I would say, the level of the investment and also the, I would say, the amount of labor that we have to put in the system. Something very interesting, it's about labor, because in fact, people, they thought that adding more people, it's helping them, when in fact, it was maybe at the beginning, it was really, really the bad solution, because you had people, but yet they don't understand what's really happened. So it means that it wasn't the solution. We have to find a solution in the process, very simple solution, cost effective, and keep the profitability high to maintain a high level of investment for our franchisees.
Can I put it in this way? Again, it's not about that. We haven't. I don't use with McDonald's. I don't use much theory constraints vocabulary. But what you've been applying is what is called the throughput world in many ways. That is to say that you're often trying to improve the performance of a restaurant by increasing the sales. And in fact, it's one of the, and all these entrepreneur franchisees, that's, you know, it's the daily, hourly sales they're looking at all the time. And so that's all that was already in your bloodstream, in your because
it's our DNA.
Yeah, it's your DNA, right? You want to grow, and that's how you got this market share. And basically, you've grown so much now that your main competitors is your other restaurant half a kilometer down the road. This was done, and one of the things that you didn't talk about, but which we've been working on a lot, is home deliveries. And there'll be some questions about that. Did that have an impact? What about home deliveries in this model?
Interesting. So across, I would say across the world, and with or without COVID-19, delivery, it's a huge I would say business. And of course, we are in the delivery business from now, I would say 2 to 3 years, 2 to 3 years, and in fact, it doesn't affect the process. Why? Because whatever the order is coming from, it doesn't matter. Because in fact, if it's a carrier or if it's customers, it will be, we will do the same thing, and we are using the same process. We are not in a case, but depend of the market, we are in different position in different markets. Talking about UK, very high level of delivery, for example, we are, I would say, in an average in delivery, and we don't have to change I would say the process in the production side. And if we are growing in delivery, we will change something certainly in the service side, where maybe we have to split, we said, the flow of the customer with the carrier. So I mean, we have different, we are working on different investigation to find solution at this time. But if we are talking about the production side is not affected by the delivery business at this time, because we are producing all the orders on the same way.
Okay, thank you very much. There were quite a few questions about raw material shortages, bread, protein, etc. I think I can give that a short answer to that. There were some issues, but you get rid of those. I mean, you're not going to break your performance by running out of raw materials, and we cleaned that up. Again, nearly everything, the processes, the forecasting systems were very robust, and it was only because people tried to intervene manually that you ended up with shortages. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Okay. So to finish off, what seduced you about theory of constraints? Imagine you meet another VP of operations and you had to explain to him why they should consider the theory of constraints. What would you say?
I would say that the solution is simple and robust. It's key. It's don't try to find, and for my perspective, TOC give us a simple solution and very robust in our system, because talking about 75,000 people working in the production line, we have to train them on the same way. We have to do the same using the same process. So from my perspective, the key message or the key on the theory of constraint, it's really a solution, simple, robust, and profitable. Good for business. This is for me the three main words that I will use.
Okay. Well, that will be la mot de la fin. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.